Incumbent President of Togo, Faure Gnassingbe, wins last Saturday's presidential election for a fourth term in office. President Muhammadu Buhari sympathizes with families of victims of Garkida attack as the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, takes a leap at infrastructural development towards aviation safety. These and more on this Monday's edition of Panorama. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ian Ray John. Incumbent Togolese President Faure Gnassingbe has been declared winner of the Saturday 22nd presidential election. Musbao Dan Wahab reports that the provisional results announced midnight into early Monday by the Electoral Commission, SENI, indicates that Mr. Gnassingbe received 72% of the votes, compared with about 18% for Mr. Agbayome Kojo, who came second. Mr. Kojo, former Prime Minister and head of the National Assembly, has rejected the result, alleging irregularities in the conduct. The result is to be ratified by the Constitution Court. President Gnassingbe, who took over after the death of his father, Gnassingbe Eyadeba, in 2005, is contesting for the fourth term in office. Meanwhile, the United Nations has commended the key players in the conduct of the just concluded presidential election in Togo. The UN Special Representative to West Africa and the Sahel, Mohamed Ibn Chambers, gave the passmark in an exclusive interview with correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab in Lomé.
Well, the United Nations, through our UN country team, has been working with the Togolese institutions responsible for ensuring peaceful and credible elections for months leading up to these elections. So at the end of the day, we are quite pleased that the elections have been non-violent. If you take it that from the period of the campaigns through election day, there hasn't been a single report of any casualties. That is a remarkable achievement for a country such as Togo. And the peaceful nature of the elections also allowed for Togolese people to turn out in the numbers and showed a lot of discipline and maturity in casting their vote, so that all the observer missions, especially the African Union and the ECOWAS and the Organization of Francophone countries, have all remarked about the peaceful and transparent nature of these elections. And I think Togolese people need to be proud about that.
Your Excellency, you have been following developments on the continent for decades now, and taking this Togolese presidential election as a reference point, so what do you think about democracy on the continent, and do you think Africa is learning?
I see tremendous progress because I was here in 2005, and I can tell you that at the close of elections and while the votes were being counted, we could already hear gunshots and scuffles all over the place. So to come back and then see the progress that has been made, that throughout the entire country, there hasn't been a report of a single incident leading to loss of life or even injured, that all this process took place without violence. I think that is a tremendous progress. Also, the fact that the counting was done at the polling station, and that all citizens who wished to observe the counting process were allowed to be there at the end of the voting and to participate in the counting is another mark of the transparency which has been built into the process. And this seems to be so across West Africa. And I think that ECOWAS has been doing a good work in working to improve the climate for elections and actually the processes itself, building in more transparency, more openness, so that at the end of the day, all the participants can feel confident to accept the outcome of the results.
What do you tell you?
That's our correspondent there, Musbao Dan Wahab, with Mohammed Ibn Chambers. And back home now, President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the Boko Haram attack on Garkida in Adamawa State, extending his sympathy to families of victims. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President assures that no part of Nigeria would be abandoned to their fate and describes the attacks on soft targets by the terrorists as obvious signs of frustration, expressing confidence that the terrorists will continue to face the combined power of the military until they give up their mistaken ways. President Buhari says since the coming of his administration, Boko Haram's ability to invade and occupy Nigerian territories, let alone be able to hoist their flags, had been frustrated. President Buhari says that in the coming weeks, Nigerians will witness an aggressive campaign to root out Boko Haram once and for all, and appeals to Nigerians to continue to support troops in their efforts to protect citizens and secure the country. And still on security, the Commander Training and Doctrine Command, TRADOC, Nigerian Army, MENA, Major General Abubakar Adamu Tafa, says the Army will not relent in its fight against terrorism and all forms of criminality. The Army General gave the assurance at the joint West African social activities organized by the TRADOC and the 31 Artillery Brigade, Nigerian Army, MENA. Mukhtar Abubakar Wobo reports. That report will come in the course of the bulletin. Moving on now, when credible societal values are inculcated into children at their formative years, the gains endure all through their childhood into adulthood. This way, the future is secured and social vices are kept at bay. This is the prompt for a summit organized by the Women's Wing of the Islamic Brotherhood of Nigeria, Esbon in Cairo, on the outskirts of Abuja. Kolo Mohammed reports.
The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. This speaks to the influence that a mother has on her children.
Women have been playing leading role.
Speakers at the summit believe that as a first caregiver and number one teacher, the mother has a lot to do with nation building.
A country that wants peace must always encourage women to be very, very optimistic in whatever they do. You encourage them, you support them, you give them opportunity to intervene, to discuss, to participate, and then you finance them. By the time you do that, you see that you never have any problem in the country.
Dr. Mariam Bello Yasin says mothers should try to quit living what she calls subjective lives, but rather be objective in nurturing their children's health, social, moral, and religious needs before worldly gains.
No matter how rich you are, if your children are not worth being proud of, you have not achieved anything. It's better you don't even have a child. So, but the society is so porous. We chase money. You can even see women who are not. How can I imagine myself if I'm working in an office and I've been handcuffed, but I stole money? What do I tell my child when I'm supposed to tell him not to steal pencil, not to steal biro?
Participants at the summit are optimistic that it is possible to have a society with the trappings of peace, progress, togetherness, and nation building.
We are encouraging mothers to try as much as possible to give the right values to their children.
They advise that to secure the nation's tomorrow, women and children must, however, be sufficiently catered for. Kolo Muhammad, NTA News.
And back to our earlier report on the joint West African social activities organized by TRADOC and the 31 Artillery Brigade, Nigerian Army, MENA. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo brings us the details.
The tradition of Wasa cultural events dates back to the days of Allied Forces commanders, where troops and their families come together at the end of the year to socialize and celebrate the achievements of their formations or units for that year. On occasions like these, most officers and men are seen dressed up in their native attires, showcasing their different cultural heritage. This is what played out at the 2019 Joint West African Social Activities for Headquarters of Training and Doctrine Command TRADOC, MENA, which featured different cultural dances.
Since I see that people are very good at
After the entertainment came a message of resilience from the commander, Tradog, Major General Abubakar Adamu Tarfa, who reiterated the Nigerian Army's resolve not to relent in their fight against terrorism and all forms of emerging criminalities in the Army's areas of responsibility.
As you are all aware, the nation is battling certain security challenges, and the Nigerian Army is in the forefront of tackling these challenges.
We have put a lot of things in place to checkmate whatever they are doing.
Awards were presented to outstanding soldiers that distinguished themselves in the course of discharging their responsibilities. In Mina, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
And away from security matters now, looking at health, checking quackery in medical practice and better funding of the health sector will go a long way in preventing possible global epidemics in Nigeria. This was the position of the leadership of the Medical Laboratory Technicians of Nigeria in a meeting in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
Leadership noted with concern how Nigeria's healthcare is underfunded and overstretched, leading to proliferation of private medical outfits seeking to fill the gaps and help provide alternative, which they say comes with a heavy price. In offering solution, they advocate better funding of the sector. Administrators and not medical personnel should head health agencies, and government should intensify efforts at attaining universal health coverage.
So we're using the opportunity to call on the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria to start issuing practice license to all medical laboratory technicians and assistants in this country. Of course, that will go a long way to checkmate the quacks.
Speaking on industrial disputes in the sector, the union noted that only a unified operational structure can stand and advise members to obey constitutional authority, adding that when all these issues are addressed, Nigeria will be in a better position to handle global epidemics when the need arises. Benny Adams, NTA News.
And if you just joined us, you're watching Panorama live on the network service of the NTA. We'll pass for some messages. The news continues shortly.
To spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
together. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Good to have you back. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government is targeting about $1 billion annually from artisanal mining if the sector is given the desired attention and support. The minister stated this in an interview ahead of the formal flag-off of the program in Yauri, Kebbi State. Anthony Forson reports that the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative is a scheme designed by the federal government to help eradicate illegal mining and make the sector more formal.
And what this means that we are going to register all artisanal miners in Nigeria, take their biometrics, take their photographs, get their addresses, and then the federal government will now support them in the mining industry. This is the best way to eradicate illegal miners. And then whatever gold with the mine we bought by the central bank. And we are very confident that with this new initiative, we'll be able to probably make over $1 billion alone in gold.
The minister explained that the pilot scheme has 2 states for the initial takeoff.
This pilot program will be in 2 states, in Osun and in Kebbi. In Kebbi, we are going to register about 3,000 artisanal miners, taking their biometrics, taking their details.
In other news, the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Abubakar Aliyu, has expressed displeasure and concern over the slow pace of work at the Section 1 of Kano Maiduguri dualization project by the contracting firm, despite funds being released to complete the road infrastructure. The minister, who paid an unscheduled visit to the site, said federal government will not take it lightly. Muhammad Rabi Ali reports.
Activity by activity. You are now doing artwork there. This is my gang for artwork. Yes.
This is the second time the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Abubakar Aliyu, is visiting the long-established project in less than a year. His concern is to address the complaints raised by motorists on the speedy completion of the bad portion of 13-kilometer Gaya-Wulu Road.
I want to urge them to push this work because this road is very, very important to the people here and to the nation because it's a major road linking Kano to Maiduguri. And the Gaya-Wudil section, they are not doing well there. So I have directed that they should increase men and machine on this stretch so that they link up Gaya and Wudil before continuing other areas.
The minister also inspected Shuarin Gaya and Bridge 2 of Wudil interchange, urging the contractor to expedite action on the project to ease the hardship being faced by road users.
2 years there's been scoop funding and there's no reason why we cannot continue to work. This is kudos to the government of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The project, when completed, is expected not only to stand the test of time, but also contribute to the socio-economic development of the people in the area. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And still from the Ministry of Works and Housing, the federal government says it is committed to provide road infrastructure that will stand the test of time with the view of improving the socio-economic well-being of the country. The State Minister of Works and Housing, Abubakar Danlami Aliyu, stated this while inspecting the Numan-Cham Federal Road in Adamawa State. The report.
The reconstruction of 46.35-kilometer road from Cham, Gombe State to Numan in Adamawa State was awarded to CGC construction firm in 2017 at the cost of 9.2 billion naira. The work is currently going on with 22% completion, covering 11 kilometers from Numan. Some of the commuters plying the road express hope that their sufferings will soon come to an end with the pace of work at the moment.
Normally you're going to enjoy your movement, your ride, despite the destination, and your car is going to be in a perfect condition. So I'm happy about the road. I'm enjoying it as I'm going to where I'm going to.
I want government to put more effort so that this work will soon finish.
The Minister of State, Works and Housing, Abubakar Danlami Aliyu, who was on an inspection visit to the road, expressed satisfaction with the quality of work, saying government will ensure speedy completion of the road so as to improve socio-economic activities in the area.
we had some bottlenecks, which is the Savannah area. It's a stretch of over 11 kilometers, so it's going to cost us a lot, but we have to do it for our people because, as you know, Mr. President's commitment to delivering this project.
It's very important about the augmentation, but we get good news. Next week we can get a problem. This is good news.
Type of traffic applying this, so we don't want to rush the road only to give way within 6 months. So we are taking our time to really do a very thorough job on this section of the road.
In Iola, Raya Nubala, NTA News.
The Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA, has inaugurated its newly installed Category 3 Instrument Landing System, ILS, at runway 18 right, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, as well as runway 22 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Also inaugurated is the newly installed Doppler, a very high frequency omnidirectional radio range DVOR in Lagos. This is in addition to the routine flight calibration which has been successfully carried out on runway 18 left in Lagos. A statement by Director of Public Affairs of the Ministry of Aviation, James Oduadu, confirmed that the Managing Director of NAMA, Captain Fola Akinkwotu, disclosed that a notice to airmen has been disseminated. Accordingly, while calibration of navigational aids in other locations across the country is in progress to ensure all navigational aids in Nigeria that are due for calibration are covered. And on financial matters, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has formally clarified the uncertainties surrounding the operations of domiciliary accounts in Nigeria. The Director of Corporate Communications, Isaac Okorafor, while making the clarification in Abuja, noted that the bank has not prohibited the acceptance of foreign currency cash deposits by commercial banks. He further explained that only electronic funds can be transferred into domiciliary accounts and only cash deposits can be withdrawn in cash as well. Okorafor therefore urged interested parties to always seek clarification on issues and avoid speculative tendencies which are detrimental to the financial system. And on sports, Lobby Stars of Makurdi dropped down in MPFL as Handball League continues in Abuja. Amanzi Marcus will bring us up to speed.